What is going down, everyone? Happy New Year. It's the first episode of The Hype for the 2025 season. We can call it a season because we're all involved in sports, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're actually going to be joined by a special guest a little later in the show. Dirt, you may know him from Instagram. He's going to review some Breaker celebrations. So, should be a fun segment. We're also going to be talking about Disney. Disney's now, the IP is now with Topps, so we've seen some early product previews and the chaos and the madness. We've got some buy-sell for some football. So it's going to be a fun show. It's good to be back, guys. 2025. How we feeling?
You know that this marks the fact that we graduated high school a quarter of a century ago?
Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that.
A quarter of a century. It sounds a lot gnarlier than 25 years, but a quarter of a century.
Speak for yourself. I graduated in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, 2025.
Well, I think what's going to make me feel real old is when we start getting guys that were born after we started breaking, which was in 2010. So when we start seeing those first Bowman cards, it's like, oh, born in 2010.
Which will happen in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Well, actually, a couple years probably for the Dominican guys.
Even all the young, you're right. You're going to have the first teenage players who are like, they were born in 2010.
I think I've been seeing some 2006, some 2007 on the back of some Bowmans right now.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, a 15-year-old international prospect is not out of the realm. Is not an uncommon thing. So yeah, that's gonna.
It could happen this year.
That's gonna happen this.
It could happen.
year. Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
Also, this is where I'm like, okay, everybody slow down. I get it. Time is moving. It never stops. But I think I was watching New Year's stuff, and it was like. Generation Alpha, done. Generation Beta is now. Whoa, we're already on to a new generation? Slow
Excuse me,
down.
what's Generation...
So first of all, Generation Alpha.
What is that?
That's now.
I think Alpha would be if you're born late 2000s to basically early 2020s.
Like late 2000, like 2009?
Like 2008, 2009.
Okay.
I think is the oldest version of oldest Generation Alpha. And now we're done. It's already over.
Well,
Generation Alpha.
that's
We've had the last Generation Alpha.
early 2010s.
Okay, so I'm a little.
Oh, the generation of people born before or after the early 2010s.
Okay,
and before, because I think it's a 15-year.
It's usually
generation.
Yeah, they usually last about 15 years because I'm a
So we're on what now?
We're on Beta.
But wouldn't that doesn't that
change.
suck?
So if you were born...
Isn't Alpha better than
I was
Beta?
going to say usually, yeah. So but they're just going in numerical order. But I remember even millennials were not millennials before. They were Gen Y because you had Gen X. Mm-hmm. And then we're like, well, Y comes after X. So they're Gen Y, but then it all changed. We're the millennials.
So all of our kids are Alpha, Generation
Yes.
Alpha.
Yes.
And yeah.
And then if you have a kid,
You're gonna have a baby.
You have a
this year. You're
Generation
gonna have a beta.
you have
which
a Beta.
isn't
Beta baby.
Isn't that negative?
I think so.
Yeah. This is why I'm like, give it 10 to Gen Alpha will not be Gen Alpha in 5 years.
And then you
We're
have,
pumped up to
and then the young adults would be
They're Gen Z.
Gen Z,
Some would like to call them Zoomers.
and then you have millennials,
Millennials.
and then before that Gen X,
Gen X.
And then baby boomers.
And then you've got Boomers.
Yep.
Boomers.
Yep. How many more generations can we name? I believe the silent generation comes. No, the greatest generation.
The greatest generation.
Oh, hey, look, I get I get it. World War II. That's why.
Okay, greatest, and then the silent generation. Is that a made one? Are we making that one up?
No,
that's
an
a real
thing.
one?
That's an actual thing. Silent generation.
Charlie Chaplin days, or
Right. Exactly. Think your grandparents or.
Is that the 20s?
Yeah.
Or is there a roaring generation?
Boomers are born right after World War II. So the one before the greatest generation, if you will, was born were people who were old enough to have fought
served in World War.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So
Anyway,
the Generation Beta, the Topps Series 1 cover is going to be kicked off by Aaron Judge. Do we think that was the right decision? Do you think Aaron Judge, Series 1, so that the cover, we have not had any data of what the cards are going to look like yet. I'm assuming those are going to be coming soon as Topps Series 1 releases in February. So probably going to see some designs in the next week or so, I would say. But Aaron Judge, is that the right choice?
How did Ohtani not make the cover?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the cover athlete.
I could actually
a couple
say
years ago,
I would
right?
Ohtani or Skeens.
Skeens would have been the one that
Because I also feel
Or
that
Gunnar
Aaron-
Henderson?
I think
Yeah,
I feel
Gunnar
like
would've been
Aaron
one.
Judge has been on covers. Maybe
definitely
not.
been on covers.
Maybe not for Series 1.
I don't think he's ever done no, he's been on like a Series 2, but I don't know if he's ever done Series 1, which, I mean, there's a distinction there, obviously. It's as we've.
I mean, he didn't have a bad year. Not
he was an MVP.
not his best year though.
The MVP, no.
Didn't
I mean, well, he didn't hit 63 home runs.
Yeah, didn't he hit
but-
700 home runs in the year before?
or 2 years before?
2 years before?
Look, the stink of it feels like he did not have his best year because he did not have a good postseason. He had a bad postseason.
Yeah, and
Really bad.
that counts.
And that's going to count.
And didn't he have like a terrible error in the
And
World
he had
Series?
a really bad, now infamous error.
Yeah.
We don't know. Tops might have made that decision before the playoffs, because you got to print these boxes.
I would have gone with the new blood of Skeens though. You can't go Ohtani every product.
I think Aaron Judge is a safe pick. I mean,
Or
he's
Jackson Holiday.
He's a top 5 baseball
he's
player.
not-
And
Bobby Witt.
Now that's one.
it's going to be on one.
Bobby Witt Series 1 would have made a lot of sense. He loves the hobby, had an amazing year, was second in MVP voting, would have made a lot of sense.
And I feel like he is part of the new generation
Yes.
of superstars coming up.
Yeah.
And Aaron Judge is a current superstar, but in 5 years he's probably not going to be.
He's Mike Trout.
He's
in a separate generation than Bobby Witt.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who
We're
would
talking
you
generations.
Who
It's
would
the
you
theme of the
put?
episode.
Who would you put in his generation? Carlos Correa.
I mean, what? The Judge is 31, 32. So, yeah, he's in that.
He's in the Carlos Correa
yeah,
generation.
He's the guys who came up like early 2010s, mid to like that early
Could
to
you put
mid
Trout?
2010s.
Could you put Trout in that generation?
Trout? Yeah. Yeah, even though Trout started earlier.
I think Trout and Harper are kind of the same generation.
Judge is like the tail end of that.
You could even say that Trout,
Acuna?
Harper, Strasburg.
Yeah, Acuna.
Acuna's with
Acuna.
Judge. Yeah.
Acuna's with Judge. But yeah, I guess I kind of lump all those guys together where they're like, yeah, these are all that era.
And
of baseball.
the new era
Is
is
now Bobby
Holiday,
Witt.
Witt,
Gunnar.
Skeens, Gunnar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So exciting to see that design. I mean, yeah, Bobby Witt would make sense because you could almost do like Bobby Witt's favorite cards as a subset too. I mean, you could do a lot of other plays on that, and maybe that's in the going down the pipeline for Topps. We didn't mention this before, but Barry Bonds is going to be back in cards this year as well, which super exciting. I can't wait to pull some Barry Bonds again. He had a stint in 2016, 2017 back in cards, but hasn't been. Even base cards hasn't been in there since then, so that's exciting. Disney dropped on, literally caught me by surprise. I knew the license was changing over January 1st, and Topps was going to have the Disney license for cards in America, and they didn't waste any time. On the first of the year, they dropped this product called Genesis for pre-order, which it looks good. I mean, it's 100 subjects. There's going to be no facsimile autos from what I could tell. They have the checklist out. It goes through Star Wars, Pixar, Marvel, and classic Disney characters. 5 cards a box. All cards are numbered to 99 or less, all the way down to a Superfractor. So you're going to have a chance at Superfractors of Mickey Mouse, Buzz Lightyear, of Moana, of Wolverine, Spider-Man. I mean, the list goes on. It's a pretty beefy checklist if you're in that if you're in the Disney realm of things, and I'm interested to see what these are going to go for because the boxes came out at $100 when they sold out. I was literally on there 2 minutes later and I couldn't get a box. So boxes are now on eBay for around $500. Topps Genesis. What do you guys think? Is this going to be like something that we look back on and be like, this is the PMG of Disney products, or is it just going to be a flash in the pan?
Sounds like it's got some pretty big players in there. Some pretty big hitters.
Some pretty big names.
I think it's going to be it's not a category that I'm really into, but I understand the collectability of it. And I think it's going to be big because it is their first release. I also feel like Genesis has already been a parallel. It's a Panini parallel.
It's a Sega.
It's a Sega.
I was going to say, yeah.
Now that's a product I can get behind. A little Crash Bandicoot. Well,
That's the first one you go to, not Sonic, huh? Not
Well,
the
no,
second one.
well,
Wait a minute. Now,
Annie-
Crash Bandicoot is PlayStation. So
Yeah, that's
oh,
true.
is it?
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah,
right.
PlayStation.
Who am I? I'm
Genesis
not. I'm
would
not
have been
thinking,
Sonic.
No,
Golden
there's,
Axe.
no, there's
Golden
another.
Axe.
There's
Toe
a-
Jam and Earl.
There's another Sonic.
Jam.
I'm trying.
I was
I'm trying to
saying
think of
Toe Jam and
another Sonic, like not Sonic, but
Knuckles.
Maybe I was thinking.
Just
Knuckles.
saw Sonic the Hedgehog 3, so they're all on my
It's a good
mind.
movie. It's a good movie.
Way better than I was
Jim
expecting.
Carrey.
Carrey's a
Jim
legend.
Carrey's in that one.
Oh, yeah.
Is he-
Hysterical.
He's in all of them, right?
Yes.
He was hilarious. If you miss like goofy 90s Jim Carrey, those movies scratch that.
I just
itch.
don't. I don't think I can sit through it. I just don't. I
that's
just.
fair.
Not very long,
I just
but-
don't think I can. Well, it doesn't matter.
This
It-
one-
it could be 15 minutes. I don't think I
This
can sit
one
through
was
it.
far better than I was anticipating. It was a good.
It's not really a kid. It's kid-ish, but it's not really a kid.
It's just Sonic running through, trying to get some rings
But,
and
you know,
going through tunnels and
You learn
turning
a
into
lesson
a ball.
along the way, and you have some heart.
Yeah.
And also you get a scene where
I
Jim
do
Carrey
remember
dances
playing
with
Sonic
himself.
back in the day. Sonic was not an easy game.
Hard.
It was a very hard
I was
game.
just playing it the
They were
other
hard
day.
games.
It's on
not
Switch now.
not easy.
Yeah.
Not it's not Mario Brothers where you could beat it.
Mario had some hard. The older ones were hard.
Mario won.
Hard.
No.
Yes.
No.
If you want to beat that game, like not just be like, oh
no,
yeah, there it is. I'm done.
Mario 2 very very hard. Mario
2
1
hard.
Mario 1 I used to be able to beat it in like 8 minutes.
Yeah, with your game cheating.
No, you with the warps you can.
That's true. If you know where to go, yeah, you can speed.
Millennials. Gen Zs are like game cheating.
Yeah, millennials
What the
were
hell's
like
a
they're
game
salivating
cheating?
at this right now. They're like game cheating. Yeah,
Dude, I
remember
wonder.
that.
Which actually reminds me, I was perusing Fanatics Collect, and this is not an ad for them, but I always like to see when auctions are ending on Sunday. They have a weekly auction, and there was a sealed GoldenEye from N64, WATA 9.2, that I dropped a couple bids on, and I think I got a crazy deal on it, and it's going to be coming in the mail. I'm excited.
9.2, wow.
9.2 on the
Can't
WATA.
wait to play it.
Nope, never gonna play it.
Oh.
But I mean,
good game,
It
though.
was. It
Good game.
was. It was the first. Like literally, that's the first game
Multiplayer.
that 4 players could play. at
First
once.
person, yeah, an iconic first-person shooter game. Yeah, so much fun. So
And I'm not even a really big first-person guy. Like I didn't play Doom or any of those. But like when GoldenEye came out, and when there was 4 of us being able to play at the same time, didn't have to take turns or whatever. It was amazing. So
So they had 2 different game modes, right? They had like the multiplayer, and then
Right.
wasn't there like a storyline?
you had a story
Yeah, you could
mode
play one player.
where you
Yeah.
played the movie.
which
Yeah.
which I swear nobody ever played that. It was
played a little
always
bit of
I played it.
Yeah, I played it.
everybody want to do the multiplayer. Let's go around and try to shoot each other.
This was this is maybe I played it, and then I would say though the person who played it the most in our house was my mom. She loved GoldenEye so much, and like I would catch her like I'd get up late at night to go to the bathroom. I'm like, Mom is still playing GoldenEye at like 11 or 12 at night. So yeah, this always happens.
There was GoldenEye, and what was the other? It was like something Sky Fox, something
Star Fox.
Star Fox.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that
Star
was
Fox.
that was fun
Yeah,
too.
but Disney Genesis, yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
Disney
We got
Genesis.
caught on Sega Genesis.
Well, you brought up GoldenEye. and-
I speculated, and yeah, this show could be called The Tangent, but I speculated there was about 5,300 boxes made. It doesn't list all the parallels, but if we're going classic, tops parallels, you got the 99, you probably have a 75, you probably have a 50, you probably have a 25, you probably have a 10, a 5, and a 1. So I base it on that with 100 characters. Looks like there's about 5,300 boxes made. Now, I don't believe that Topps released all of them already. I think that they let a little bit trickle in the market. We may see some at other shops or with breakers. I don't know. I just know I need some. I've been buying some on eBay, and we'll see how well the market goes, being the first release. And all cards being numbered to 99 or less, I think, is what's crazy about it, is that you're going to get a serial numbered card for every card you get. So I don't think anything else they come out with. I'm sure they're going to come out with Topps Chrome. They're going to probably come out with some memorabilia type stuff with the Disney license or movie based stuff. I don't think there'll be as much serial numbered value in what's going to happen with Genesis. So
Yeah, I think this is like you were saying. Can this be like the next PMG? I think that's obviously their goal here. Is they like even the look of these cards kind of give you like this is our take on that style of look. But if to kind of, I don't want to throw too much cold water on it, but it does kind of remind me of when we were all like F1 is here. It's the new F1, and F1 was insane for a year. also coincides with the time where the market was the craziest it had ever been for the hobby. But it was perfect timing, and it was like the first chance we get to get Lewis Hamilton, Verstappen, all of these names. F1 is still very popular. F1 still has its market. Is it where it was when it first started? I don't know if it's quite there right now in terms of like it is, because every year you're like, it's the same few guys. I know there's going to be F1 people saying, no, there's not the same few guys. But the fact is the rookie chase in an F1 product is way less than any of the other sports.
Was NASCAR the only product during the pandemic that didn't boost? I mean, was it
unfortunately.
Man,
yeah. And the other comparison would be Star Wars stuff, where like when Fanatics was on board, and then they're overseeing Tops, and then the Star Wars stuff felt like that first year. It felt like, well, there's so much Star Wars stuff, and we're collecting the same guys every single time. Well,
and that's my thing with Genesis. I was surprised that they did the whole spectrum. Like they didn't leave out like, oh, you have Mickey, but maybe you don't have Minnie, or maybe you don't have Donald this year.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you kind of do it for like a series too. So, like, I don't know if Genesis is going to be made every year, which may hurt it long term. Because what do you do, Genesis 2, and then it's like, it's Mickey again? I mean, you know what I mean?
That's like, I think the model they have to follow is the Star Wars stuff, where like they went, I think, really hard on a lot of products. Every single product, every single SKU had it, but then or every single product under the Topps name brand. This year or the last year, they really scaled that back, and I think it really helped the market overall. And collectors, I think, responded where it's like every few months we got a nice new Star Wars thing, and it didn't feel like repetition. It didn't feel like that. So can they do that with Disney? We'll see, at least with these characters. But at the same time, they also can now just be like, we've got a set for... They could just make a set for every single movie Disney has ever made.
Right.
And be fine for a long, long time.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll have to see. I mean, also Leaf unveiled something that's kind of being near and dear to your heart. Jim Rome, Jim Everett duel in the upcoming Sports Heroes, as some of you guys that are millennials or Gen Xers, since we're on the generation talk today, remember the famous Jim Rome interview where he called Jim Everett Chris Everett, who was a female tennis player, and Jim Everett tried to beat him up at studio. So first time we've ever seen a duel for that. Is it valuable, Dan? Are people going to pay a lot of money for that?
To me.
It's no price.
No, I don't. Nobody's really going to care. I honestly, like, I would love. I mean, Jim Everett's my favorite player. I want one. I'm not going to go out and get the one-of-one version of it, but I will get one for my PC. I also would. I bet they didn't even tell Jim Everett that they're going to do it. Because I don't think he'd be into it.
Both are sticker out. Well, actually,
Jim Rome, I could see him being into it.
We should tweet out.
He does. Jim Everett does follow us on Twitter.
This does come from collect.com. They put something out that basically they have quotes from Chris Everett, or excuse me, from Jim Everett.
If you call him Chris,
I know. I just did it. Jim Everett. My God, I can't believe it. He's going to come crashing through that door.
Right?
I'm going to come crashing over there.
Apparently, it's been Jim Rome who's the one who's been avoiding him. That there was apparently, I got to find it here. Back in 2021, Jim Rome was on the Dan Le Batard show, and he said he and Everett hadn't spoken since 1994, though he claimed he asked the former QB to do another interview several times. But in September, Everett told the Ricky Cobb show there were plans for the two to star in a commercial together, but Rome turned it down. So it's Rome that's the one really avoiding.
Because he's gotten bigger than Jim Everett. I get it. But, like,
But, yeah, and even,
I would hope so.
Jim Everett said I would be open to doing something with him and Chris Everett. Could you imagine a Super Bowl ad with the three of them? I mean, that's niche,
wild.
but it was so fun.
I just don't. I think it happened so long ago that I don't know if it would resonate.
It wouldn't.
I think people would be like, I don't understand what I'm watching right now. One, like, who's Jim Rome? Yeah. Who's Jim Everett? And who's Chris Everett?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of what am I watching?
Who are these people?
Speaking of commercials, you know what it made me think of? I haven't seen these in a while, but because you mentioned, to you, it's priceless. You remember those commercials? Where it'd be like, I think it was like an Amex or like Visa or what was it?
Visa. I think it was either
Visa was like,
Visa or MasterCard.
It's like hot dog at a game with your son for the first time.
Priceless.
Yeah, it would be like
Discover.
Price of tickets $75. Yeah, the parking $25. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it'd be like Jim Rome, Jim Everett.
Creating
priceless.
memories with family, priceless.
Yeah. I remember those. Yeah, I can't remember. It was like MasterCard.
It was MasterCard, Visa. It was one of them.
Nothing like that sticking out today.
It wasn't It wasn't Diners Club.
Wasn't
No.
So a couple more notes from this week in the hobby. eBay is partnering with Facebook Marketplace in the U.S., UK, and Germany. eBay listings will now be featured on Marketplace as well as the main website. Deal may have come together in response to Meta's $822 million fine from the European Union as part of the antitrust suit, accusing the company of hampering competition from other online marketplaces in Europe from Collect.com. So you're going to be able to buy your fake jerseys and go on eBay at the same time. You're going to be able to, buy, I don't know, like a toy, an iPhone 7 or an 8, and then you'll be able to jump on and buy a Paul Skeens rookie card. I don't know. I'm assuming it's just going to take you right to eBay. It's going to be on Facebook, but it's going to take you right to eBay. Facebook Marketplace is wild, man.
From my understanding,
I go on there sometimes, but
it is. From my understanding, what it's going to be, it's going to be like it will be listed on there, and the moment you click it, it just redirects you to eBay.
It's actually crazy how active people are on it, because my wife uses it a lot.
And it's a lot of spam.
Obviously, she uses it for toys that our kid has grown out of, right? And I'm looking at it going like, no one's gonna want this. Someone knocks at the door and they're like, "Here's $5 for like a little toy with some balls that you put in a hole."
Yeah,
and I'm all, why would somebody drive over here to buy this for $5?
It's cheaper than getting the same toy for like $20, $25.
But then you might
store.
have a psycho showing up at your door for your $5 toy.
Oh man, I bring them in. I'm like, you want something to eat?
You want some coffee? I got a fresh pot brewing.
I got a fresh pot brewing. I'm all sit down, watch some TV, hang out. I'm actually hunting them down. I'm on my street running people down.
Dude, the few times I've tried to sell on Facebook Marketplace, I tried to sell one of my old TVs, and it was like $500 or something. I think it was like originally like a $2,000 TV. I was like, I'll just take $500. I had so many people be like, I'm really interested in the TV. I'll pay full price, but I don't have cash. Is there any way that I could send you Apple Pay and my brother could come pick up the TV?
That's why I got to do the $5 toys, because no one's gonna spam you for $5 or something.
No, they'll do the same thing. Because I was selling something for $50 one time. They're like, don't have the cash, want to send my brother. Is there any way I could just send you Venmo or Apple Pay ahead of time? And then these are obviously people that haven't even seen what I'm selling, so this is a scam. Yeah. It's 100% a scam. They somehow get my Apple Pay, and they try to hack into it or whatever. That's what the whole game is. But I got a lot. I got like for every one real person, it was like 10 to 20 of these. Or the person's like, I'm right in your neighborhood. What's your address? I'm like, what? I agree the terms. Yeah. I want the TV. I'll meet you at your house. I'm like, no.
Man, we're meeting at the park nearby. Like you can know I'm in this vicinity, but we're not. This ain't door to door.
Come to my house, hang out, hang out. I'll give you a snack.
This does bring up, I guess, the one concern that I'm sure maybe some eBay sellers are going to have is like, am I now going to get the digital version of somebody knocking at my door and trying to scam me? Is this now, are you opening it up to that? They're going to have to ensure some protections for like a long, the eBay folks. I guess the protection is if people really want it, they have to create an eBay account. They can't just be like willy-nilly, but
we don't take Cash App or Venmo.
Right. I guess that is the protection, but maybe your messages just get a little weirder on eBay. That might be the one net negative of this.
Yeah, I mean it's all like what we mentioned before with Gary Vee talking about live commerce is going to be the hobby's used to live commerce, but the rest of the world isn't. I think this is another play to bring live commerce into the fold, and Facebook's aware of it, Amazon's aware of it. All these big platforms are jockeying for more commerce.
It's also crazy.
On
like Facebook doesn't get any rake or any commission on their Facebook Marketplace.
I think you have to pay for if you really want yours TV to show up first. You got to pay for it, like ads. Oh. You have to pay for reach. I think that's where they might make their money. But it's kind of like Google Drive. You're not really paying for Google Drive unless you need more storage. But it's a way for you to be on Google constantly.
Thinking bigger picture too. Of course, Facebook Marketplace. This is all under the Meta brand. Instagram Live is what immediately comes to mind if eBay's now thinking bigger picture of now we're partnering here, we've got our foot in the door at the Meta offices. How do we now become I don't know what they could do. Partner with Instagram so you're creating eBay Live is Instagram Live or whatever that looks like. But to me, I know there's got to be a lot of gears turning over there where they're like, that's the next step is we got to capture that one. Because still, IG Live of all of the sort of live streaming, I know you got Twitch out there, but just still the instant satisfaction, and we've seen it. I mean, we saw it a few years ago with the Drake the Drake box break where Instagram Live in this hobby, and we had the Logan Paul on there. That's still one where...
Well, I'm personally partial to Fanatics Live.
Yeah, well, there's... Well, again, I'm not Instagram Live just being a big, anyway, you know what I mean.
But we're in a world.
I just saw an opportunity to lay up.
Good call. Yes, absolutely. Please break with us on Fanatics Live. We are there. It's fantastic.
But yeah, I mean, this is all kind of created by Bezos. They want you to be able to buy something with one click. I mean, just like Fanatics Live, where you buy a team with one click, you don't have to go off platform to buy something. We're all lazy. I mean, we don't want to have to click 5 buttons. We want to click one button. We don't want to have to fill in our information. We want to just pay as soon as we can so that we have no remorse of what we buy because you've already bought it. You thought about it, you bought it, and it's done. Pretty soon, we're just going to be able to think about it in your mind.
They want you to take away you don't want to think about it.
No, because then you'll talk yourself out of it. Yes.
So it's less thinking, more button pushing.
Yeah, more shit at your door, more stuff at your door that you don't need. So, last bit of news: Pokemon is getting even more hot. I mean, God, Charizard's got I'm sure he's going to be running for election here soon. Pokemon rolls into Costco, and I guess in Canada they have a new sets, and people were fighting. People were. They were throwing blows trying to.
They got
this.
Costco in Canada.
I actually thought I was watching the same video, and someone had to be like, "No, this is from December 26th."
I think the more important question about Costco in Canada is the hot dog still $1.50?
Well,
you got to think about the conversion rate.
I was going to say conversion rates. You got to think about that.
Maybe $1.75.
Yeah, right.
Are they U.S. hot dogs that are imported to Canada?
Now it's Costco makes their own hot dogs.
No,
right?
they have a poutine.
That's how they keep
a poutine hot dog.
Now we're talking.
Hot dog in general is American cuisine, correct?
Yes, correct. That's a very it comes from a German bratwurst sausage.
I mean,
sure.
but that's the hot dog as we know
it's
it.
our iteration.
That's as American as American
hot
gets
dog,
right there.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog.
There you go.
See, I brought that back into Disney.
Hot dog and apple pie.
Apple pie.
Your son watch that yet? Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
No, I'm just we're
that's an
we're
early
heavy.
age show.
We're heavy into Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel is the end all be all.
We like Miss Rachel.
Yeah, I mean,
Miss Rachel.
it's a lot of singing,
Like an adult.
a lot of dancing.
She's an adult.
Yes.
So every kid watching an adult.
Great at marketing. Got dolls and books and everything.
Wow.
Everything. I mean, just
she is everywhere now.
everywhere.
She's on with I saw her on she's doing a collab with Elmo. That's how big she's gotten.
Yeah.
She's on Sesame Street now.
Jeez.
Yeah, huge. I
Good
mean,
for her.
I was in the shop today and somebody came in and they had a stroller, and in the stroller was a Miss Rachel doll.
There you go.
I mean, we're talking Miss Rachel is
What happened to Blip? What happened to Blippy, dude?
He's still around.
Blippy's still around?
My son likes Blippy.
Miss Rachel is Barney big, in our era.
Yeah,
Like,
it's big. Yeah.
Barney. I would think I was more of a Sesame Street guy.
well, no, I mean, but we remember how big Barney got.
Yeah.
Barney was huge. I mean, it was. I mean, we were out of that. We were grown. Well, Doug and I were. We were out of that, but I remember how popular Barney was.
I love
Very popular.
You love
Very,
me.
very popular. I was in the right age bracket for Barney.
Oh yeah,
Yes, it
you
was
were
very
Barney and and what was Teletubbies? Was that
after?
You're a little after
Yeah, I was
Teletubbies.
a little too old for that. Yeah, Power Rangers. Definitely.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers was big. I was into it for a moment, but yeah, Barney was big. All that was, yeah.
Nobody has the Power Rangers license. Oh, it's crazy.
Somebody's got it. No, yeah, that's one where, like, wait a minute. Yeah, somebody's got it.
It was.
Oh, you're talking about for hobby-wise, too. Yeah, that's, I don't know.
Power Rangers, and
well.
then what else came out? It was VR Troopers. It was like kind of like a knockoff of Power Rangers.
Yeah. Power Ranger set would do really well. They should do it.
Would it do
with this generation? Oh yeah.
I mean, I know Shane would love it.
You make a product like Topps Genesis, but you put and there's so many versions of the Power Rangers too. You could just do it forever. You could be like, here's OG Power Rangers, and then here's the dinosaur ones. Here's the ones where they're in space.
I love your enthusiasm. You're super excited about it.
I don't know. Saban, I think that's the company that owns it. Call me. I got a pitch for you.
Well, also, we got our new break room that's going to be dropping on Friday here on Mojobreak Media. If you guys are watching this video, if you're listening to the podcast, head on over to Mojobreak Media. Jason Williams, White Chocolate, joins us and chases his rookie card. It has some great conversations. So make sure you check that out. That drops this Friday, January 11th, I think is the date, right? Or is it January 10th? January 10th. January 10th. And we've got the break room, and that'll be pretty exciting. We've got our special guest coming up next.
All right, everybody. We've got a special guest here for you here on The Hype. It's been one of our most requested guests. It's also been one of our most not requested guests. The guys are like, please,
wait, what?
Don't have Dirt on the show. But then there's tons of people who are like, we want Dirt. We want all the dirt. You know this guy, and maybe or maybe not, you love this guy. It's Dirt, everybody. Hey, Dirt, welcome to The Hype.
Throw some mud on it, baby. Everybody loves me.
Yeah, that's
what's going on.
Yeah, that's.
I invented breaking.
Invented breaking? Is that what we're going with? Mm-hmm. This feels like when Al Gore said he invented the internet. You're saying you invented breaking? Didn't you only start like 2 or 3 years ago?
No, 25. 25 years ago. I think I might be your father as well, but that's up to your mom to decide if that happened or not. But I'm here because these guys can't hold the show down. The view count's going down. They called me up, made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So we're on the show, and we're going to do this thing to the moon, baby.
So, yeah, we decided, let's do something special here. If we're going to have Dirt on the show, why not have him review other breakers, right? See what everybody else is up to around these parts with breaking. So I want to know, if you really are the best in the business, how would you do? What do you think of these ones? How would you do it differently? So we'll just start off with some bigger names here. Let's take a look. Well, these guys are pretty big.
Oh, yeah. I might have heard of these guys, Backyard. See, the problem with Backyard is I basically created like an IP that I have all these websites that I buy, right? And they had this website, but I was so close because I have back alley breaks. I have the IP for back alley breaks. I have front yard breaks. I have back door breaks. I have hit from the back breaks. Even my assistant, like recently, was like my assistant, Chiat Gupta, suggested driveway drafts, which I own as well. So did not get backyard breaks. They lucked in there to get that IP, but I have all the other IPs. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of Trevor Lawrence cards either.
Are you sure you're pronouncing that right? Is it Chat GPT?
No, my assistant is Chiat Gupta. So
got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. If you think you could do it better than them,
play it for me again. Let's see. Let's see this.
Let's have you be the judge of this one.
Yo, how about that?
Well, what's he doing?
How about that?
Why doesn't he just show the
first
card?
pack? It's either yellow
It's
or
clip
gold.
of the year. Jeez, who do these guys think they are?
It's called sweating. You sweat it.
Sweating it, huh? Oh wow, another Wemby. Did he just say?
Oh, bada bing!
Bada bing? Is he Sonny Corleone's grandson? I mean, like, does he pull a Muggsy Bogues and say hello to my little friend? Is that what he does?
You're not into the bada bing. I kind of liked it.
But I do got to give appreciation to this guy's, tight shirt. Looks like he hits the gym.
Sure.
Gets the chest press going, every once in a while. Might be doing the chest press before he hits the brakes.
You also said another Wemby so dismissively. Are you not a fan? You're not a believer in the game?
I just think that if this guy was to start another brake company, the guy that was doing the brake, Olive Garden Brakes. He's got it.
Olive Garden Brakes.
Yeah.
I do love the free breadsticks. We've got another one here for you. This comes from another one from Whatnot. Here, take a look at this one here, Dirt.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Is he speaking about me?
It's 10. Oh my God.
How many
This is fucking
patches?
nasty.
Now, is this guy going to actually
Oh
take
my
off these
God.
patches to see if the
Mahomes,
players are behind there?
Burrow,
Is he going to take
Trevor
off the Brady and
Lawrence,
see if it says
Tua,
Brady behind it?
Fields, Hurts.
I think he's gonna take
Also,
off for a
like,
second.
Dirt doesn't do cards like this because why would I have time for a randomizer, dude? There's like 35 guys on there. Who cares?
So wait, so
Throw in
you're
the garbage.
So you're telling me when you get let's say if I'm in a dirty Bing zing boom whatever it is, when I'm in a break with you guys and I get a random card with two different players on two different teams, like how are you doing the random then? You
Whoever
don't have
spends the
time?
most money.
Ah,
Yeah.
all right.
You got no time for that.
Sure,
dude.
that
Got no
seems
time for
fair.
that.
That seems nice and fair. That's,
No, I'm
that's
saying
quite a
you guys,
card there.
you've seen that where people pull off
Sure.
the patches, right?
yeah.
I dare this guy to pull off all 35 of those.
From an NT card.
Yeah.
National
Do it.
treasures.
Do it. Let's be part of the hobby.
You know how much those spots go for? Those boxes.
Not enough.
Not enough, really. Man.
Such some weak celebrations. I mean, I created
Selling
Throw
for
Some
a
Mud
million
on it,
dollars?
and that these guys don't have the right celebrations.
All right, let's take a look at one more here. This is Panini can't keep getting away with this.
What do they do?
What do you think?
They replace cards,
Nebula.
points, or
There it is.
what? Can't get away with what?
Nebula.
Like, what are we doing?
It's a nebula.
This viral video?
Oh, sh.
Ballers Bank. huh?
Oh, sh.
How about the Billionaires
Oh,
Bank?
sh. It's a nebby. It's a
Part of,
nebby. It's a nebby.
part of that class. What do we got? Oh, we got a Nebula?
Come on, Chris. Good
We got a
luck,
Nebula.
bro.
Jeez.
Nebby, bro.
This guy slow rolls the speed of a sloth on
Here
vacation.
we go. Here we go.
Like,
This is a
literally.
1 of 1.
Just show the card. Like, what are we doing? Are we gonna? I
it's
could
a
go get
bear.
I could go get a sandwich right now. I could go get a sandwich,
Chicago. I
come
see
back,
it's a rookie.
and he's
Hold
still
up, bro.
slow rolling the
Chill,
card.
guys.
Like, we ain't got time for this, man.
It's about building
Time is
drama.
money.
Rookie.
Time. Well, we still haven't shown the
It's
card.
not a rookie.
Jesus, and they got rap music. We do have the club going on in the background too. Like, what are we at?
Swift.
I thought you'd be after your music video. I
Oh
thought you'd be a
my
fan of that
God.
one. It's gotta be yours though.
We're
It's gotta be your
still
music.
waiting for the card.
Keenan Allen. DJ.
He's got a Nebula. What do we think it is?
It's gotta be.
Oh my God, dude.
It's a bear.
Fucking old
Jeez.
helmet.
People should be asking for refunds. This guy's taking so long.
Huh?
Jimbo Culver. I mean, hey.
Jimbo Covert.
And they're disappointed.
Jimbo.
They're disappointed about
Are you
Jimbo
fucking
Culver.
serious?
This guy's won a Super
you
Bowl. He's a
serious with me?
two-time All-Pro. He's a Hall of Famer, and he was in WrestleMania
Are
too.
you serious?
These guys pull Will Levis, and they wet their pants. But Jimbo Culver is a bad hit, apparently.
I did not think that you would be so passionate about Jimbo.
Jimbo, it's a
Culver.
Hall of Famer. It's a one of one. Put some respect on Jimbo Culver's
You've been
name.
in this business for 25 years, so you say. You can understand why Jimbo Covert maybe doesn't move the needle like when you're expecting it to be a Caleb Williams, right? I think
No,
you can respect
no, not
that.
at all. Not at all. Jimbo Culver, put some respect on his name. He was before all of us.
Well, these are certainly some.
He was in WrestleMania too. He's at the Royal Rumble.
I guess Caleb Williams shows up to WrestleMania next year. Does your opinion change?
Caleb Williams will be out of the league next year.
Well, there you go. You heard it here.
Jimbo
from
Culver, it's a legend. A legend.
This has been the Jimbo Covert cast here with Dirt. If you want more stuff from Dirt and his Bing Bang Dirty, I mean, go ahead, plug away, Dirt. See, let's see if we can get that name
Well,
right.
we've run out of time. I think you guys owe me about $15,000.
$15K
So
is your cut.
if you want some more, I'm not even going to talk anymore because I've already went.
Gonna have to call our accountant. That's it for Dirt.
Buy, sell, or hold NFL Playoffs edition. Lots of new products coming out, too, before we get into this NFL Playoff edition. NT Basketball is out. Conrad's breaking that as we speak. That's why he cannot be here today, because he's chasing Wemby Logo Man. So if you want to get into a break, head on over to Mojobreak.com and get into some NT NBA, as well as Definitive on Fanatics Live this Friday. That's a huge set with some big chases. So a fun week in breaks for this hobby. But let's talk playoffs as we are here for the buy, sell, or hold NFL Playoffs edition. And what guys can, value can go up or go down based on how they perform in the playoffs. Looks like you got a Justin Herbert's Silver Prism that recently sold PSA 10 $985.
$985. Yeah, this is a Silver Prism PSA 10. My guy, Justin Herbert.
So we always
Man,
you
you got to be pretty excited because
I'm
like
stoked.
your favorite team is in the playoffs.
I mean, look, if you had to ask
I mean,
me,
you.
what is
the thing is, I know you're rooting for the Chargers.
I'm absolutely
I know you're rooting for the Chargers. I know you are.
I'm
That's
rooting
fine.
for the Chargers. Go Bolts. Go Chargers. Go, as Arnold Schwarzenegger said.
I mean, you got Harbaugh there.
Honestly,
I mean, it's like Niners light.
It's like as much as I've defended Herbert, and then the fact that Harbaugh goes over there, and I'm like, well. Isn't Navarro Bowman's a coach too over there? I
think
believe
so.
I'm like, it is Niners light.
It's Niners light.
If Niner fans, if you're looking for a team to root for, it just feels like the right fit. I know the Lions and all that history.
I was gonna say that Niner fans probably would be rooting for. They're not going to root for Philly.
No,
they're not going to root for Philly. They're not going to root
for Green Bay.
Not going to root for the Rams.
Not
going
rooting for the
to root for
Lions.
I would say probably the Lions.
Detroit. There's nothing. There's no ill will.
Lions, Chargers, Bills.
Because Bills have had it tough.
I don't mind about the Ravens.
And Josh Allen is a local guy.
How about the Vikings? Where do the Niners sit? Niner fans sit on the Vikings. Sam Darnold, Niner great.
Well, this Monday for sure we're rooting for the Vikings.
Yeah, and Vikings another one where like there is some history, but like nothing where I feel like I have to have a lot of ill will.
Yeah, and
for the Vikings. I know the regular season hasn't gone well, but like in the playoffs it has.
Washington. So Niner fans are just rooting against certain teams as opposed to like don't have a dog in the fight.
No.
Just want to see good football as long as the Eagles and the Rams and the Chiefs are not involved.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
There's a few other teams.
Yeah,
Again, I think the Packers, I still throw that in there as a team
sure.
I don't
even though
care for.
that that's like the Niners are the Packers' daddies.
Yeah, exactly. But that's for some reason that one runs deep for me.
Talking about this Justin Herbert card, though, the only thing that is unfortunate about this first round matchup is that you have two hobby golden boys. You have the most recent CJ Stroud, which products, I think there's still 2023 products coming out. I mean, there's still, we may be done with it, but, we may have more products coming out too. So people still have CJ Stroud in high regard. They've invested heavily in this season for him. And then you've got the guys that kind of jumped in during the pandy as well that have Justin Herbert. So there's going to be a casualty here. Is it going to be Stroud? Is it going to be Herbert? I think that the Chargers pull through on this game, but I don't know if they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs, the Ravens, or the Bills.
Oh, so. I got the Chargers. The Texans I feel are kind of like sputtering into the playoffs.
They absolutely live.
A little banged up. No Tank Dell. I know Collins is healthy, and Stroud has not looked as good this year as he did his rookie season. I don't even think this game's close. I think the Chargers are going to win. The Chargers could go on a run. Are the Chargers, like Doug said, are the Chargers going to beat the Chiefs? Yeah, I don't know if any. You're crazy if you're going to bet against the Chiefs.
If the only thing that you could say, okay, that's the fact that the Chargers and Chiefs are division rivals. What do they say? You never want to face the same team 3 times in a season. Like that's the only thing that's going for them. Now, when that same team is the Kansas City Chiefs, I kind of feel like the Chiefs should win that game. But I'm going to give them a fighting chance. And all of America's going to be behind them. Nobody wants to see this, especially the way this Chiefs season has gone. Nobody except the Chiefs fans want to see that happen.
Is it safe to say that majority of the football fans who are not Chiefs or Eagles fans do not want to see a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl?
I don't think the Eagles have as much hate as the
Chiefs. No, I believe they do. Like, if you're,
but they didn't get one. It's like
there isn't like an obvious.
They didn't get one, but I just generally the way Eagles fans have kind of pushed buttons, and like the rest of the NFL is like rooting against you.
But it would have the same feeling as last year when it was Chiefs Niners. I think a lot of fans just went, "This again." Like, didn't we just see this? And it's going to be the same thing. Didn't we just see this like a few years ago?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Chiefs Lions.
Especially
people,
when there's
people will be stoked on that.
There's so many more intriguing matchups. Bills Lions. My God. That would be a matchup for the ages where it's like two of the most tortured fan bases in football. One of them is going to come out victorious. Great storylines. But if it's Chiefs Eagles, we've seen it before. Yeah, nobody wants the Chiefs.
I think for that
Chiefs Bucks, we saw that
Chiefs
not too
Bucks
long ago.
we've seen before. This would
it's
take
not,
a decidedly different
It's
look.
not the same Bucks.
No.
But we won't see a Rams Bengals.
Yeah.
So
For what it's worth, of course, I'm buying Justin Herbert. Of course, I'm buying.
I'm going to put it up for auction.
Oh, you're buying Herbert. You're buying Lad McConkey.
I'm
you're
buying
buying.
Lad. I'm buying.
You're buying.
I'm buying
you're,
Joe Alt.
You're buying Cameron Dicker.
I think
The
for
kicker.
me, for me, if I had this Justin Herbert, I would put it up like Friday and have it end like on Tuesday or Wednesday because I think that's the all-time high. I think I don't know obviously who they're going to play next, but I think they lose the next game for me. So I think this is your time to cash in on your Herbert. We all know the hobby chases the younger players. Justin Herbert's now in his 5th year. He's going to go in his 6th year next year. Harbaugh situation looks great, but I just don't think they have legs to win the Super Bowl.
So if you have Stroud, what are you doing? Are you
You
gonna,
hope it's already listed.
Are you going to try to list it and have it end before the game?
I'm holding.
Or you're going to hold.
I am holding until next season.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to do it
Okay,
because I
so
just don't think there's
Pending our court
anything-
case, we might
so
have some.
sell Herbert, have it end after the game.
Yep.
Hold.
Buying
hold,
Herbert, of course, but yes,
hold Stroud.
holding Stroud.
Holding Stroud.
There's just nothing to gain with Stroud right now. Like, I think even if they win, best case scenario is he probably. I don't know exactly what his market is right now, but I'm betting it's down a little bit, and I bet it basically just gets to just under or where it was at the beginning of the season.
The unfortunate thing is
that
I think all these guys that we're going to talk about, especially quarterbacks, are being swallowed up by everybody chasing Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nix, all these guys.
Especially with 2 of those guys in the playoffs.
Right. So, I mean, the next guy you have on this list is Jared Goff, which I think you could safely wait until next week on this because they're not playing this week. $280 is pretty low, I think, for a PSA 10.
That's a steal, and you gotta say, I mean, he's pictured in one of the best uniforms in all of sports. not even in football, just like in sports.
Oh, he had so many great years there. But
He went to a Super Bowl.
He is Detroit. They were chanting Goff MVP at the game on Monday night. They were chanting
slow
Goff
down.
MVP. So I think I hold on to this for at least a couple more weeks, and I think they're safely going to win this. Well, obviously they don't play this week, but then they're going to win the next matchup. I think they're my pick to go to the Super Bowl. So I think you wait it out and see if he gets MVP.
What does that card max out at? Say they win the Super Bowl, he's the Super Bowl MVP.
Unfortunately, not much. Probably 500.
I was going to say, 500 is best case.
Well, let's say all of the higher seeds win. So let's say seed 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, right? Mm-hmm. And they are what seed are they?
Detroit.
Detroit. So the Detroit would play the Rams.
They're going to play in the next round?
No, the Rams.
No, they would play the winner of Green Bay. Or does it reseed? I don't think it reseeds. They would play the winner of Green Bay, Philadelphia. No,
they would play the
No,
Rams.
they play the Rams.
reseed's a reseed. Yeah.
Because the Rams are 4.
Right.
So if basically 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, and Detroit is number 1 seed, they would play the Rams in Detroit.
Correct. Yeah, they play the lowest seed remaining. That's how that works. So
Yeah.
the 2 and 3 would play each other, which goes to this next one, which
Oh,
I think
the NFL loves a Matt Stafford, Sean McVay,
Goff.
Dan Campbell, Jared Goff matchup. They love
It
it.
would be fun.
They love it.
It would be exciting.
They were probably secretly hoping the Vikings won on that Monday night game, that Sunday night game. Justin Jefferson next here. Hobby loves Justin Jefferson. He kind of is what he disputes the receiver versus quarterback investment strategy because as you can see, he's already selling raw. This is an autograph, of course, but double the amount of Jared Goff. I think that the Vikings, 5th seed, I do think they beat the Rams. Sorry, but I think they beat the Rams. But then I think they
that's
lose.
just wishful thinking.
I think
but
they
that's
lose.
Fine.
I think they lose to the Lions.
Everybody, even though they are, I think they're favored by 2.5 points. Generally, everybody is saying the Rams are going to win.
Interesting. But I think Justin Jefferson, we don't know if Darnold's going to be the future, but I do clearly think that Justin Jefferson is a once-in-a-generational talent. And I think he's going to rack up the records. Him and Chase, both being from LSU, I think they're going to rack up these records. And I think he's a stronghold. I would get that buddy graded right there. It's in that mag. I would get that one graded. So I think for me, I'm holding on to Justin Jefferson.
Easy hold.
I'm holding because of the uncertainty with the quarterback. And the reason why the people are picking the Rams to win is Sam Darnold looked really, really bad last week.
Yeah.
I know the Lions defense is good, but he looked like there is a very easy pathway to defeat the Vikings right now.
Pressure.
And if you pressure and look, if we are obviously not part of coaching staff and don't really look at that much tape. We just watch football as a casual football fan. If you can see that, the casual football fan can see that, then you got to figure the people who are creating schemes, defensive schemes, see that as well.
I mean, not a lot of quarterbacks to do with that pressure. I mean, hopefully that offensive line coach and the offensive coordinator of that team kind of reamed out that Vikings offensive line and is hopefully getting it right because they're going to go against some young bucks on that side of the field on the next game. So, I mean, they got to get that protection down for him, which brings us to Sam Darnold here. 5'10" on a Silver Prism PSA 10. Hopefully you have that up on eBay already.
Sell.
Hopefully you have it ended Saturday.
$510. That is insane.
And
That is the. Is it safe to say that is the highest that card has ever sold for since his rookie year?
yeah.
Since his rookie year, yes.
And those people, I mean, there's got to be people that like bought that rookie year and been holding. This is like your opportunity to sell Sam Darnold. There's a reason why he was on 3 teams.
Sell it for $400.
The only reason you're holding that
Take
is
less.
if you're a Vikings fan and you think Sam Darnold is going all the way.
But he is. He may not be a Viking next year.
Yeah.
He's pictured in a Jets uniform. So if you're a Vikings fan, why are you looking at that and like, I really
Hey,
love
the Jets
this.
do need a quarterback next year, so I don't know.
I mean, it would be the most hilarious thing
He
for it
goes
to
back
go
over there.
full circle. They pay him so much money,
and he
just
sucks.
becomes Sam Darnold again. he turns into a pumpkin.
It would be the Jets.
It would be the most Jets
It would
move
be
ever.
how they go about doing their business.
Yep.
I think that I don't think Rodgers is a Jet next year. I think Rodgers does play though. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he plays.
Man, I just don't know.
I don't know where he plays, but I think he plays San Francisco.
He's not a Niner. The Niners just came out and were like, a Brock Purdy extension is key. We have to get this done before the league
extend
year,
him, and they're
basically.
like, Brock, look, you get it.
Can you
get
sit a year?
Can you sit a year behind?
Can we pay you $45 million to sit a year?
Just go into a dark room and smoke some ayahuasca and just really get to know Aaron.
There is nobody in the world that seems like they would be less interested in an ayahuasca fueled trip to darkness than Brock Purdy.
I got a good place for him.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, Seattle.
You know,
I
Smith's not
think
bad.
I'm not mad at that.
I think
And good receivers.
I think Geno Smith has done well, but I think
they need an
I
upgrade.
think it's over. I think he's been there long enough. You've seen what you got. I think they're going to try to revamp it. And why not go 1 year with those receivers with Aaron Rodgers, and he gets to come back on he gets to come on the
Closer
West
home.
Coast.
Yeah. That's not a crazy thought. Yeah. I don't know I don't know what at this point 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers with you could say
We also
this is
don't.
not
We
coming
also
off
don't
the injury
know
anymore. Like
we
a
also don't know
fully
how healthy he was this year.
Right. It's a fully healthy year, but again, who knows?
It's sometimes the arm strength's got to go away when you get a certain age.
I think he's done. I think he's retiring.
You think he's going to retire? You think
I didn't think
he's
so
going
a few
You think
weeks
he's going
ago.
to go out like that?
I didn't think so a few weeks ago, but I think there's a part of him that thinks, I know the whole going out badly, but I think there's also a part of him that's just like, what, am I going to go somewhere and win another Super Bowl? No.
So is he a Hall of Famer?
Of course he's a Hall of Fame. He's a top 5 QB.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
Like, there's just nothing else for him to do. Like, he's locked. Everything.
Quick to say that, but we talk about Russell Wilson.
He
and it's
wins
a big
another
ordeal.
Super. Like, if he wins another Super Bowl, how much? Where does that put him any higher on the ranking? To me, it doesn't really budge him. Like, he's still locked in as a top 5 guy. I don't see him. I don't see another year.
But,
another Super Bowl.
but he did win as many Super
doing
Bowls as
anything.
Brett Favre did.
Right. And only one
Who's
fewer
better?
than.
Who would you rather have?
And really,
I would,
up until.
I would probably rather have Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre.
Well, let's put it this way: did Peyton Manning's that last Super Bowl?
I'd
where
rather
he
have
was
I'd rather
half
have
of-
Peyton Manning.
But when Peyton Manning was half of himself on that Broncos team that won a Super Bowl because of their defense, but he got another ring. Did that change the narrative at all for his career? I don't think it did.
No. If anything, maybe Aaron Rodgers takes that same approach and goes to a team that has a top 5 defense so that he could just kind of dink and dunk here.
Kind of what he tried to do with New York.
He did, yeah, I know.
Kind of what he
didn't
tried.
work out. I mean, it was if he would have played last year, because the defense was actually really good last year. They held him in a lot of games. But let's go on to Saquon. Nobody's happier about him not playing than Eric Dickerson last week. And it was funny. There was actually fans that had signs that said, I made the trip just to see Saquon break the record. Well, he didn't play. So
I made a post, by the way, about is he the true rushing king if he doesn't? And I was like, well, he played one more game. I got dunked on by Philly fans who were like, he actually has less carries. Thank you very much. And he's about to break this record. I'm like, but next week he would have more carries. Would he not? I mean, I don't know.
And
whatever.
Eric Dickerson broke it playing 16 games as opposed to whoever had it before him played 14 games.
There's that too.
So
you're always gonna
was Jim Brown.
It might have been. It was ironic that and I love Eric Dickerson, but it was ironic for him to come out and be like, I don't want to see him break it. But he broke it playing 2 more games than the person before him.
We're constantly moving the goalposts.
At some point we're probably going to have more than 17 games, and all these records are going to get broken.
We're going to have that Christmas week that felt like the longest week of football of all time. That's just going to be every week soon. So
I hope so.
But Saquon, I think I'm selling Saquon with this hype. I mean, he obviously is. I would take Derrick Henry over Saquon. Honestly, I know he's had this tremendous season. A lot of injury concerns. Can't be at the top end of his career, being a rookie in 2018. Running backs don't sell crazily over the years. I mean, some Barry Sanders do, and I don't think we're ready to put Saquon in that category. But I think the hype is there now. You got to sell. Who knows if he has this good of a season next year? So,
yeah, I think I sell as well. I think Saquon just went to the perfect scenario for him.
Yep.
But he is. How many years? How many years left at a high level does he have at that position? Probably less than 3.
Do you have the Eagles winning that game against the Packers?
Yes, I actually think. I think the pathway to the Super Bowl in the NFC goes through Philadelphia.
Well, I'm just a little concerned with the fact that Hurts has been banged up. Saquon didn't play because he's banged up.
I think the Lions get knocked off in the divisional round.
I don't think.
Wow.
So. No.
I think the Lions get knocked off, and who knows? It could be the Rams. I'm not as confident. If the Rams have to go to Philly, I'm not confident the Rams can pull that out.
I would have said that last week based on how the Lions played the Niners because their defense looked non-existent that game. They just pretty much let a broken down Niners third string running back run all over them. But they held down the Vikings really well. They kind of made adjustments. Also, what I think goes lost is the fact that they had freaking a week 5 bye. The Lions had a week 5 bye. They played 13 straight weeks.
Yep.
So now they're rested for another week. They can go into and all their games are going to be at home.
Yeah, that's the biggest key is that they did it. They locked in against a game that mattered the most. They locked in at home. Yeah, I think that's.
I believe the Rams can beat the Lions. Week 1 in Detroit, the Rams took them to overtime with at that point Puka was out. Puka played a quarter and a half.
Last year in the playoffs, they took him down.
Took him
close.
Took him. It was a one score game.
Yeah.
I think the Rams just match up well against them. I think they match up well against the Vikings.
I think they're cut from the same cloth as the Niners. I think that when you play a gambler and when your coach is not a gambler, I think you can capitalize on the gambling losses. Yeah. Because freaking the Vikings played the same. They wound up playing the same game that Campbell plays, and they were going for it. How many missed goal line 4th downs? They had 3 missed goal lines.
The whole game. The whole game I was watching, I was like, they keep on going on 4th down, and it's not working.
They were, and at one point that would have been 9 points they missed, and they were down by 7. So it's like they would have been in the game if they would have not played Dan Campbell's game.
Yeah.
So, but Dan Campbell's game lost it for them in the NFC Championship game.
It did.
And he's going to have to do something about that this year.
It's one of those things where, like, it only takes one time for it to not work for you.
Yep. I know you want to go with what got you there, but when it comes to the playoffs, you kind of have to do things
Field goals.
a little differently.
Field goals are
Yeah.
good sometimes.
But the creativity that the Lions have too. I mean, I was there at that Monday night game, and then we were right in that game, and that play where Amon-Ra caught it and pitched it to Jamison Williams on the play, that was fantastic. Even if it happened against my team,
Also,
it was very creative.
It was cool.
Also, that there's a very fine line between that play being offensive genius and
disaster.
And that is the Dan Campbell way.
I mean,
right there in a nutshell.
That play basically goes the opposite. Niners pick it up and run it for a touchdown the other way. That goes from being a genius call to this dude should not even be a coach in the NFL.
What were they thinking? And that's why you got to motivate those guys to run through a wall for you, and that's what he does. When you get them all on the same page like that, you can. I believe in you to do this.
I love it from an entertainment standpoint, but I feel that it's not a recipe for extended runs. I just feel like when they're in the playoffs, you got to win. You got to win 3 games in a row. I mean, they're going to have to win 3 games in a row to be champions. Playing that way, I feel 3-game stretch going against the other best teams in your conference. One of those times, it's not going to work out for you.
The luck run. When does the luck run out?
The luck will. It's fine during the regular season when you're playing teams that are going to win 3 to 4 games. You can make up for those with your talent.
Quick point before we move off the buy or sell or hold. Saquon Barkley, silver, BGS 95, 464. Derrick Henry, I'm looking most recent sales, floating same card, a PSA 10, floating in the 250 to 285 range. Give me a Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think they're going to go farther in the playoffs.
He's the running back of this generation.
Yeah, give me a Derrick Henry, and also
get 2 of them.
A very good situation for Derrick Henry to be in.
Also,
could he have gone to
2 years older in hobby wise? It's 2016, but
yeah, and I think the track record. So like going into this year, I mean the story for Saquon was, man, he's great, just could never be healthy.
It's crazy
he's
to think
healthy.
that he is the same rookie class as Ezekiel Elliott
and Jared Goff.
Yeah, but at same positions, Zeke Elliott, Derrick Henry. Zeke Elliott, you put him on the Ravens, he doesn't have like 22 touchdowns.
Oh, Zeke Elliott's in the playoffs. What team did he sign with?
The Chargers, but
practice squad.
Yeah, I mean,
probably won't
get in there.
Time.
Last card.
I didn't even know he got released.
He didn't show up. He didn't go to the. He didn't like make a flight.
He missed the plane.
I didn't know he got. I didn't know he got released.
He wasn't doing anything
until the Chargers picked him up. I was like, you can't pick anybody up.
Yeah.
Last one, Jaden Daniels. I think that they are going to beat the Bucks. They probably will be playing the Lions then, of course. But like, I think this week for sure. I think he's shown so much signs of greatness with that arm strength, with that escapability. In a year that I don't think they expected the Commanders to do anything. So the fact that they made the playoffs, I think Commanders fans are really happy with that, and they could probably be fine with losing to the Bucks. I think they beat the Bucks. I think the Bucks. I didn't like that Mike Evans play, honestly. You want to talk about Eric Dickerson? The game was the game was over. All they had to do was kneel it, and they basically bring out Mike. They call timeout and they bring out Mike Evans to give him 5 yards to get him that record and have it done in 17 games, which Jerry Rice never did it in 17 games because he didn't play 17 games. I think you kind of made a deal with the devil there, and I think the Bucks did not look great against a really bad Saints team. Obviously, they pulled out the win, but I think the Commanders win this game. I think there's a lot of hope for Jaden Daniels, so I'm saying hold Jaden Daniels. 695 is high for a guy that's in his first year for a PSA 10 silver, but I believe that he's pretty good.
By the way, I think I might have misput that in the notes. That's actually a raw, just in a mag. So
right.
695 is not even a PSA 10.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I do that. I believe they can beat the Bucks. I wouldn't be surprised.
Bucks are better.
I wouldn't be surprised if that game can go either way. That game is probably, out of all the games, that is probably the one that I think is the most coin flip. It can go either way. Because it's tough to beat Baker. Baker is balling out.
He's had a really nice year. Didn't get a Pro Bowl selection, which felt weird, but yeah, he's had a really
he's
nice
a
year.
gunslinger, which could work in his favor.
I do
Or
think
could work
I
against
do think the Commanders are maybe a year,
They're a
2
year
years
early.
away. They need another receiver on the other side of Terry McLaurin. And Terry McLaurin's like been in the league for what, maybe 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
They
Tyreek
need,
Hill, come on down.
I wouldn't want. I would try to get somebody in the draft.
Yeah, I think that they're still in the infancy of their window, especially with Jaden's contract. You know, I mean, they got at least 3 more years before they have to pay Jaden Daniels. So I think, they're on the right track. And the Cowboys are kind of declining. The Eagles, their window might be closing. So, and the Giants, complete utter
Giants are a
rebuild.
mess.
I do believe on paper, both offense and defense, I think the Eagles are the best team in.
That's just your
in
hatred
that
for the
conference.
Lions for some reason.
No, I think the Lions are. If the Lions were 100% healthy on defense, I would say the Lions.
Yeah.
I think right now, the Eagles are probably the most balanced team and probably the healthiest team.
I'm curious how the Jaden Daniels market will be this offseason because I don't think there's going to be a lot of movement regardless of what happens to him.
Yeah.
I think it's a hold.
It's definitely
And there's
hold,
still a lot of product to come, too.
but a lot of product, and also given the performance of C.J. Stroud in the second year, where we all went Stroud crazy. Heck, go back to the years in 2021 where there's been really since 2020 was the last time where I think you can look at those QBs and be like, Burrow locked in. I'll say Herbert locked in for me as like a star. Like these are like star QBs, where it's like 21, nobody really there. 22, you could say Purdy, but I think that after this year, I think that's still a question. 23, I know Stroud obviously, but he did not have as good a year this year.
He didn't.
He didn't.
They
But
did.
he's
They
much
won.
better than
They won their division.
They did.
and he has been in the league 2 years, and they made the playoffs twice.
But Jaden
He's-
Daniels on a team that nobody expected.
That's true. It's
It-
similar to the
What are they,
CJ
11
Stroud.
are they 11 and something?
11 and 6. I mean, it's
good.
very similar to the CJ Stroud. Like they came out of nowhere.
But
brought
they,
in
did
new-
CJ Stroud make the? Yeah, he made the playoffs.
He made
last
the
year.
playoffs.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny. You see, everybody sees like what Daniels did, and I think if they were building a franchise and they had to pick a quarterback, either Stroud or Daniels, I think 90% of the people are going to go Daniels
right.
now.
Yeah,
Right.
It's
But
a
you're
good-
right.
it's- the
But
hobby-
you
the
look,
hobby's
but you
got
look
ADD.
at you look at CJ Stroud, and he over delivered his rookie season, and he took a team that nobody expected to make the playoffs. And they
team
made the
was-
playoffs.
That team was in a worse spot, I think, than Washington was.
Yeah, they were.
coming in.
Yeah, I mean, Washington had pieces.
Right.
The
Houston looked like a
You-
complete this is going to take 4 or 5
with a
years.
rookie coach.
Yeah.
A rookie coach that has.
But they did draft those receivers, Nico Collins and
Yeah.
Tank Dell. I mean, those guys are all pivotal points.
But you have a bunch of young offensive players that are unproven. You hire a defensive-minded coach. You would never expect there to be that quick of a turnaround.
No.
Well, and some may point, I was listening to, before we close the show out here, I was listening to Pat McAfee this morning, and he was like, like Gerard Mayo, you gave him 1 year with shambles of a team and you get rid of him. But they point to the fact that you had guys like D'Amico that came in and turned it around right away. So, there's less focus on these coaches being able to rebuild. It's like they want them to win now. And the fact that Gerard Mayo did not win now, he's out the door. Antonio Pierce, 1.5 years, out the door.
Robert Saleh.
Yeah. Well, he had 3 years, I think.
He had 3 years, but I mean,
Or Jim Harbaugh, for that matter. Jim Harbaugh, first year playoffs. So you you look at that and you're like, these coaches are making a difference right away, and that's why some of these other coaches like Gerard Mayo.
I'm confident that Jim Harbaugh can probably come in and take any roster.
Yeah.
And make
it
the
also
playoffs.
helps when you've got a guy in
There's
behind.
something
You've got a QB. You've got there were pieces there. The defense had a lot of talent. There were enough
I mean,
pieces there. Where
you could
think,
also
get a good guy in
there's
there.
some guys who as coaches just get it. Like Sean Payton, the Broncos were bad with Russell
Yes.
Wilson. They were bad.
Yeah.
Sean Payton comes in, has a bad year. The next year, they're in the playoffs with a rookie quarterback.
Yep. It's amazing. Well, that's all we got for the hype today, guys. Make sure you jump into some breaks on Mojobreak.com and National Treasures. We've got plenty of Bowman Draft as well. Still rocking that Bowman Draft. Bowman's Best is next week, so get in on some pre-sales on that. Lots of hobby stuff coming out. Cosmic Chrome we're still breaking. And join us on Fanatics Live. We will be doing Bowman's Best there. We also will be doing National Treasures along with Prism. Lots of stuff to chase. It's the perfect time of year. And we'll see you guys next week on The Hype. Peace.